Please be seated. On behalf of the SPU faculty, staff, and Board of Trustees, I welcome you to the 120th commencement of Seattle Pacific University, a year in which we will celebrate our 125th anniversary. Greetings to the family and friends who are present to witness and celebrate this meaningful moment. I see in the program that the invocation will be offered by our chaplain, Dr. Lim. Bo, pray for continued clear skies. Well, we are standing today within Tiffany Loop, the very ground of our founding in 1891. This is a special place. Just inside the Loop's arch leading from 3rd Avenue is a towering white poplar tree. It's a tree that was living and present when our original building, Alexander Hall, just behind us, was constructed in 1893. It's named in honor of our first president, Alexander Beers. Facing east at the top of the Loop is Peterson Hall, completed in 1905 and named after Nils Peterson, one of our founders who gave us these original 5 acres. The ground of which we gather on is known as Tiffany Loop, named after Orrin and Grace Tiffany. Orrin was our second president, and Grace, his wife, served as both Dean of Whitman and an art faculty member. Well, SPU's campus is much more than a disjointed collection of buildings, landscapes, paths, and gathering spots. It's a living artifact that represents our very ideals, philosophies, and institutional commitments which have defined our university's purpose and our potential. These buildings, spaces, and grounds provide the university a rootedness, and they've served as a foundational cornerstone of which these last 125 years have been aligned. Holding this ceremony on this historical part of our campus allows us to reflect upon and the meaning of what we see around us. The white poplar. The white poplar reminds us that there are those who have come before us and those that will come after us. We are stewards of this time. Alexander Hall reflects for us that everything requires sacrifice, boldness, determination, and vision. Peterson Hall is a living testament to Nils Peterson's heart for missions, encouraging us to understand the global nature, the cultural context, and the interconnectedness of our world. While Tiffany Loop itself echoes Grace Tiffany's selfless nature and her service to others. So the setting for this ceremony is fitting. It's a place that's marked by and defined by the tradition and SPU's foundational values and beliefs. And there is perhaps no more meaningful tradition than a university commencement, for it is not only a time of celebration and acknowledging your achievements, but it marks a moment where we anticipate your service to the world as you commence from this place to the life and path that God has for your future. May God richly bless this ceremony in this meaningful moment in your life.
To the one who knows us each by name, as we hear our own names spoken aloud today and receive diplomas to mark our accomplishments, may we also hear your voice and call upon our lives. Give us a word of purpose and direction in life. We give thanks for you have allowed us to finish this chapter in our story. May we continue from this day and this place to use our education to better ourselves and others. And so, with friends and family who have gathered to encourage and support these graduates, we welcome the presence of our Creator, Redeemer, and Sustainer, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and we look forward to how you will continually lead us to do your will. And please keep us dry. Amen.
Reading from the book of Micah, chapter 6, verse 8, in the New Living Translation. Know, O people, the Lord has told you what is good, and this is what he requires of you: to do what is right, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God.
I would like to invite Dean Doug Strong and graduate Katie Statz to join me at the platform.
The President's Citation is awarded each year to a graduating master's or doctoral student at Seattle Pacific University. The recipient of this award is chosen because she exemplifies the mission and vision of the university and because she is among those students with the highest academic standing in her class. Today it is my distinct privilege to present the 2016 President's Citation to Catherine Statz. Katie received her BA from SPU in 2008 with a double major in music and Christian theology, summa cum laude. She will complete her research-focused Master of Divinity degree at the end of summer 2016 with a cumulative grade point GPA so far of 3.97. Katie served as a graduate assistant to Dr. Rick Steele, Associate Dean of Graduate Theological Studies, and she worked as an exemplary tutor for first-year seminarians. Her master's thesis focused on three crucial metaphors: the church as a round table where all are included in fellowship, the church as a household of God where all are children of a loving divine parent, and the church as the sign of Christ's presence in the world, a people whose hospitality to insiders and outsiders alike proclaims and embodies the invitation to all people to share in God's family. Katie reinforces these metaphors in her own life, and she did so in her written work. These metaphors that were originally proposed by theologian Letty Russell, but she does so now in order to articulate a fresh vision for the 21st century church, one which fosters greater gender and ethnic inclusivity, particularly for those in leadership roles. Katie hopes to pursue doctoral work in theology and to pursue a career in the academy. So it is with great pleasure that we present Catherine Statz with the 2016 President's Citation.
I'm going to put this, I'm going to try not to move it if I can. There we go.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Proud of you. Look forward to your work in the future. Thanks so much.
It's now my privilege to introduce our 2016 graduate commencement speaker. Dr. Larry Nyland currently serves as the superintendent of the Seattle School District, but he regularly identifies himself as a great friend of Seattle Pacific University. He's a Seattle native, a graduate of Roosevelt High School, and he earned his undergraduate and graduate degrees, including a doctorate in educational administration from the University of Washington. While all his academic credentials are from that other university, his connection to SPU nonetheless has a long history. When accepting our invitation this year to be the graduate commencement speaker, Dr. Nyland included a note. He said, "I have a picture of me as a 3-year-old in the Loop, celebrating my father's graduation. I lived on campus with my wife, Kathy, as she graduated from SPU. My sister and her husband graduated from SPU. My father-in-law and sister-in-law attended SPU, and I was the first graduate school hire as associate professor in 1993 and was on the graduate faculty of the School of Education for 4 years. So he has a long history with SPU, but he has an even longer history in K-12 education. He began as a teacher in Gig Harbor and then spent some time in Alaska. He's held a number of school administrative posts around the state, including Pasco, Highline, Shoreline, Marysville, and now Seattle. Dr. Nyland's 9-year tenure as superintendent of the Marysville School District is particularly noteworthy. When he arrived, he faced a very challenging setting. When he began in 2004, there had been a 49-day teacher strike that had resulted in declining enrollment, low graduation rates, and a community that had not approved a school bond issue in 16 years. But by strengthening relationships with teachers and staff, community engagement with families, and building partnerships with the business community, local service organizations, and the Tulalip tribes, he was able to rebuild and renew the school district. The Marysville district stabilized enrollment, won voter approval for a $118 million bond issue, and working with the staff, he was able to raise graduation rates by a whopping 22%. In 2007, he was named Superintendent of the Year by the Washington Association of School Administrators. He was also finalist for National Superintendent of the Year. So he has a long history working in K-12, and he has had a long history at SPU. He continues to teach as an adjunct, to serve on advisory boards, and is a frequent participant in various School of Education events. Most importantly, for those who know him, they are quick to tell me that Dr. Nyland is a model of what it means to be a servant leader. He's a humble man, he's not overly impressed with himself, and he's always interested in doing whatever he can to help others succeed. And so we are very honored by his willingness to bring this year's commencement address. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Larry Nyland to the podium.
Thank you. What an honor and what a privilege to be here to celebrate this momentous day with each of you. President Martin, Provost Van Duzer, deans, distinguished faculty, parents, and most especially our successful graduates today. I'm delighted to have this opportunity to share with you a few notes from a lifetime journey of going with God and leave some parting thoughts with you as you begin that next chapter in your life. To our graduates, congratulations. You've weathered so many challenges along the way, balancing family, balancing career, all of that homework that needs to be accomplished. You've figured out how to navigate the challenges of parking and finding enough time for sleep and a lot of those things that go with a rigorous graduate program. And here you are. You've completed a remarkable milestone in your life, and you're ready for what lies ahead. Some of you have detailed plans for what that might look like, and others maybe are less certain about what that future looks like. We live in interesting times. Research tells us that each of us holds a job for about 4 years at a time. That means that most of us look forward to a lot of change in our future. And many of you will hold jobs that maybe don't even exist today. Maybe you'll form the new Amazon or the new Expedia for our area. All of you no doubt wonder what opportunities, what challenges, what options lie ahead. Welcome to the beginning of the rest of your life. Let me encourage you to make plans, invest in those plans, and at the same time hold those plans lightly as opportunities and challenges come your way. For me, in my life story, I probably began my career full of myself. and eager to climb mountains. As I've gone through my career, have had numerous opportunities to confront those challenges and the opportunities to be humbled along the way. So I encourage you to make those plans, hold them loosely, and be prepared for the opportunities that God puts before you. One of the metaphors for life is to have that idea of a roadmap. I began my career with 2 degrees in cartography. That's map making. And I never worked a day as a map maker. God had other plans. Married with 2 children, I became a teacher, never intending to become a principal. God had other plans. I became a principal in 1974 when, kind of shortly after, the billboard went up saying, "With the last person leaving Seattle, please turn out the lights." And I went to kind of the remotest part of the universe, Dillingham, Alaska, a small school of 400 students where I was principal. I'd been there all of about 2 months when the superintendent came to me and said, "Have you ever thought about being a superintendent?" Not really. But after he explained to me that there'd be 21 new superintendent jobs in the state of Alaska the next year, and the fact that he would teach the courses that I needed for a certificate, and the fact that there was no funding and I would not have a job the following year, I became a superintendent. God had other plans. So life doesn't always follow the roadmap that we've placed before ourselves. A few years ago, I began sending postcards to my then 10-year-old granddaughter, wherever I was in the world or in the States or around Washington. And talk about old school. It's kind of hard to find postcards sometimes these days, unless you're in Seattle or some tourist spot. One of my first do-it-yourself postcards came from Seattle Pacific, by taking one of the promo folders that we have and cutting it out and using it as a postcard. So in my remaining remarks for you today, I want to give you a mental postcard, trying to get on the back of a postcard what I think I've learned about a journey of life in 4 lines or less on the back of a postcard. So my postcard to you as you graduate and move on to do great things in the world is the logo, the lamp of knowledge, hard work, hard-won knowledge that you've accumulated here at Seattle Pacific, and the God's Spirit alive and working in each of us. And on the back, I would have the heading on it, "Go with God," and immediately behind us is the welcome sign that greets you as you come in on 3rd and Vertona. And on the back of that sign from the class of 1992 is Micah 6:8. What does God ask of us but to do justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with God? So line 1 on the postcard, if you will, would be to know what God requires of us. I believe that each of us has that God-given gift in us where our deep passion meets the deep needs of our time. Find that deep passion, be open to God's leading, and be prepared to go with God in that life's journey. Second line on that postcard would be to do justly. Now more than ever, our society needs men and women who will stand in the gap and do justly by building bridges of understanding across our differences, whether those be economically, racially, politically. We need togetherness, and we need every one of you working together to find solutions to some of our most challenging issues that face us in today. I love the way that Seattle Pacific lives up to that mission of doing justly. Whether it's providing tutors for the neediest students in Seattle Public Schools, whether it's the initiatives underway as being a catalyst for racial justice, whether it's being welcoming a homeless camp here that was unwelcome other places. As you look at life's journey and where it might lead you, be sure to do that with courage and integrity as you do justly. The third line in the postcard would be to love mercy, which has come to have a deep and personal meaning for me. Life, as they say, is not always fair, and life does provide us with bumps in the road as we go through the journey of life. For me, one of my darkest hours was after having served as superintendent in a district for 10 years, working diligently, doing justly to make sure that we were providing a quality education for every student, including 50% of our students who were Hispanic. I found that our community and our school board were not overly supportive of that mission. One of the important skills of a superintendent is to learn to count. You have to be able to count to 3. In Seattle, you have to count to 4. If you have one board member that is not supportive, you take notice. If you have 2 board members that are not supportive, you pay more attention. And if you have 3, in our case 4 board members who are not supportive, you make like a parade and get in front of the line and leave town. And I did that, thinking that another opportunity would come to the fore. And I went through a number of years where I was not a superintendent. And during that time, I was angry at God, angry at the world, depressed, not pleasant to be around. Thanks to a very loving and patient wife, a very merciful God, I came through those times. And I did that through God's mercy. Can't see this. Actually, it has coffee stains on the back of it. It's one of these packs of note cards. And every one of them has a promise from God that I went through on a daily basis for many years. And there's handwritten notes in here of challenges that I embraced and answers for prayers that God had provided. So when I've read this verse before, it's kind of like do justly and be merciful. But it doesn't say that. It says do justice and love mercy. And I think first and foremost for ourselves and then for others. So mercy is God's compassion to us. Learn to receive it gratefully and give it generously. Line 4 is to walk humbly with God. And as I said, I've had to relearn that lesson many times over my career. I don't think that's what being a lifelong learner is intended to mean. I, 4 years ago, was superintendent in Marysville. We were having success. And one of those bumps in the road came along where we had a family health crisis. And after much prayerful consideration, determined that it was time for me to retire, which I did, figuring that I would be moving to a new part of life's journey. During that time, I read a book by Bruce Wilkinson, The Dream Giver, and had heard that he had been instrumental in the lives of many as they came to crossroads in life. And I called him up to talk with him about what he was doing and what my future might be. And his response was, God is not through with you yet. Convergence is what he wants to do. He wants to take everything that he's poured into your life and put it to use. I hung up the phone, thought, wow, that's interesting. Told my wife, she said, get over yourself. I think she was thinking more about somebody will help me remember the birthdays, and that back deck in the backyard might finally get fixed. Well, a few months after that, Seattle called and asked if I would be superintendent in Seattle. An opportunity that I would not have been available for a few months before that. And for those of you who follow the news in Seattle, Seattle superintendency is a daily opportunity to be humbled. And I am delighted to be back in Seattle serving the city I love and the city where I graduated and doing this important work of doing justly and finding ways to close gaps for each and every one of our students. Some days I feel that God has done literally that He has poured into my life so many opportunities that prepare me for what I face as superintendent in Seattle. And other days I look at the agenda and say there's no way but for God's grace, God's mercy, and God's direction. So the postcard from life is to go with God, be open to His leading. And I would close with a blessing from the book of Isaiah. If you pour yourself out for the hungry and care for the afflicted, then your light will blaze like the noonday sun. The Lord will guide you always, satisfy your desires in difficult places, strengthen you, refresh you like a well-watered garden. Then you will rebuild and raise up. You will be called repairer and restorer. Then you will find joy in the Lord. You now stand in a grand tradition of Seattle Pacific graduates. I congratulate you on your well-earned recognition. If you want an off-road adventure with God, go with God, engage the community, change the world.
Thank you, Dr. Nyland, for your words of affirmation, encouragement, and challenge to us all today. I also want to express appreciation to the SPU Brass Choir under the direction of Dr. Brian Chin. All these talented musicians have blessed us with the gift of music throughout this year, and we are grateful that they have added so beautifully to our ceremony this morning. At this time, I'd like to invite Jeff Van Duzer, our provost, and Matt Whitehead, Vice Chair of the Board of Trustees, to join me as we begin the awarding of the degrees.
Will the candidates for the doctoral degree please stand and remain standing? Will the candidates for the master's degree please stand and remain standing? President Martin and Board Vice Chairman Whitehead, I proudly join the faculty in acknowledging the achievements of the graduating class of 2016. These women and men have reached another important milestone in their pursuit of lifelong learning. While Seattle Pacific has been a means of nurturing them, they have also brought much to our lives. The faculty of Seattle Pacific University has had the privilege of participating in a program of rigorous learning with these candidates. They have been examined on the quality of their scholarship, and the faculty recommends them to you.
As a member of the Board of Trustees, I can tell you that the board watches student achievement with great interest and pride. Many of us are SPU alumni ourselves, and all of us have a deep commitment to this university. The board has received the recommendations of the faculty and president and is pleased to authorize the conferring of appropriate degrees upon the graduates of the class of 2016.
On recommendation of the faculty, and with the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees in the state of Washington, I confer upon each of you the degree you have earned with all their honors, rights, privileges, and obligations appertaining thereto. Congratulations. Graduates, you may be seated.
We will present candidates this afternoon by the school in which they have earned a degree. Associate Dean Cher Edwards will be reciting names of all graduates today as they come to the platform. We will not be calling the names of graduates who are not present this afternoon.
We now recognize those receiving doctoral degrees in the School of Education, and I invite those faculty who are serving as hooders to come to the platform. Leanna Aker. Naleen Saria Balaram. Justin John Blasco. Daehong Chen. David Hartman. Jonathan Holman. Lindsay Maureen O'Neill. Miriam Elizabeth Tenkate. We now recognize those receiving doctoral degrees in the School of Psychology, Family, and Community, and I invite those faculty who are serving as hooders to come up to the platform. Mari Elizabeth Yamamoto. Sage Willis. Mendan Danny Ta. Jessica L. Peterson. Amy Cupper. Alexandra King. Christopher Keller. Melissa Joy Garner. Elizabeth Cornelia Dykhouse. Heather Nicole Davis. Jessica Carlisle. Robert Bullock, Jr. This concludes the recognition of doctoral degrees. We now recognize those receiving master's degrees in the School of Business, Government, and Economics. Arij Asaadi. Pooja Komar. Niti Sawant. Yosuke Ikeda. Algo Vincent de Guzman de Pando. Delyara Mangaya. Amanda Atler. Tara Ashley Burton. James Avery. Darren Smith. Joshua David Edwards. Abel Cruz. Rachel Kabamungan. Grace Lewanson. Eric Manelga. Ahmed Kutab. Sami Alandas. Bader Aldad. Shadi Zamka. Julia Gashiro Magi Nicholas. Canon Rupel. Tony Lee. Annie Thomas. Kat Pickens. Lou Christine Marie Hayeras. Andrew Michael Senko. Patrick Daniel Richardson. Taylor Pernkey. Sean Ellingson. Benjamin Michael Gustav Purcell. Zoe Elaine Yorna. Ansu John. Gauri Shri Anatha. Sura Basavaraj. Blumia Kurian. Gauri Arekar. Ankita Verma. Nora Olobaden. Dua Abiduawod. Jason Shaw. Joshua Banks. John Rogers. Yiting Liu. Becky Jo Toole Simpson. Sebla Asfa. Samantha Kinot. Carrie Ann Ashley Chase. Jacqueline Van Schuten. Melanie K. Loud. Samantha Crawley. We now recognize those receiving master's degrees in the School of Education. Joel Pirelli. Brian Cutler. Kelly Tarp. Michaela Heeb Kelly. Holly Ekness. Marjorie Dowd. Kirsten Bennett. Mary Johnson. Kirsten Elizabeth Callison. Audrey Jones. Sasha Yannick. Kelly Vernon Armentrout. Nicole Bond. Kimberly Lindemuth. Danette Elizabeth Steinerson. Cynthia Lampers. Allison Christopher. Sarah Fox. Catherine Anna Wright. Christopher Reimer. Mike Holland. Tyler Rath. Eric Christian Erickson. Mackenzie Ashpole. Carly Cooper. Kristen Maris. Rebecca Dote. Curtis Michael Evans. Britta Perkins. Megan Benjamin. Zan DeMerel. Susanna DeBell. James Durbrock. Bonnie Christensen. Erin Astrid Morgahen. Tracy Lee Winters. Zulay Asherol. Mallory Nagel. Amber Slonick. Megan Lucille Welsh. Jody Davis. Nicole Taylor. Shannon Rebecca Long. Mallory Kesa. Kendall Brown. Emily Michelle Armstrong. Kelly Winters. Callie Broughton. Kimberly K. Beckwith. Samuel David Kuiper. Jason Chivers. Catherine Burns. Shauna Janae Briggs. Benta Klatt. Marissa Catherine Levesque. Miriam Christensen. Carrie Granados. Stephen Rickard. Sean McMichael. Lena Hodkinson. Stephanie Miller. Janessa Liang. Sydney Clark. Connor Briggs Desai. Ben Becker. Joseph Flood. Madeline Butler. Michael Edward Leatherman. Jocelyn Diaz. Danielle Gleit. Cassandra Britton. Ellen Suzanne McCormick. Molly Peterson. Chelsea Marie Conaway. Sunya Osling. Amanda Whiteside. Jennifer Marie McKee Miller. Asher Dixon. Missy M. King. Kelsey Elizabeth Heinrichs. Kayla Noelani Ayello. Charisse Ursula Gamble. Cynthia Jobeth Cuellar. Kari Hines. Esther Young Cho. Kylie Moss. Morgan Collins. Mike Wells. Marsha Scott. Rebecca Todd. Ryan Ingersoll. Rebecca Kerstetter. Eliana Martin. Caitlin Mary Jane Riley Scott. Rafat Jambi. Caitlin Reeder. Alexander Daniel Hacker. Allison Ruth Shipley. Carden Ryder. Jennifer Foster. Elizabeth Marie Garrett. Lindsay Hansen. Rebecca Appleton. Amber Celine Bryant. We now recognize those receiving master's degrees in the School of Health Sciences. Lorraine Walters. Mary King. Janelle Marie Martinez. Missy Lean. Jesse Zimmerman. Kelsey Hansen. Megan Young. Linda Whittlesey. J.P. Denham. Corinne Sparrow. Ashley Claire Hartford Meraldi. Brianna Harvey. Marsha Kusera. Yanquan Bu. Vladimir Grib. Aman Gill. Eric Lauer. Catherine Rayberger. Tatiana Melnick. Courtney Poland. We now recognize those receiving master's degrees in the School of Psychology, Family, and Community. Rachel Franchuk. Catherine Grinnell Lopez. Jessica Erin Atkinson. Jessica Mingyan Nay. Brittany Renee Epps. Holly Soares. Sarah Gordon. Lindsay Kiefer. Jennifer Croak. Tiffany Balloon. Valentina Korepanova. Kelly Roberts. Scott Campanario. Mike Vu. Percy Daniel Strohorn III. Oksana Kramariti. Lindsay Moore. Audrey Lee. Jacqueline Tess Aldrich. Loveroop Kaur Bath. Heather Moyer. Andrea Muchler. Kievesh Abadat. Spencer Wallace. Brian Ashburn. Lillian Caldwell. Anna Bruner. Heather Fisher. Audrey Watson. Irene Beaconiti Hennen. Emily Rich. Nicole Arceri. Ingrid Johnston. Spencer Fox. Tracy Noel Tucker Sanders. Jacqueline Smith. Isaac Christian Schultz Wiggers. Elise Ottoson. Emily Alias. Stephen Edward Gaffney. Jennifer Loescher. Lauren Palais. Mackenzie Jean Biddle Stapleton. Sloan Maria Westerman. Lara Michelle Sabatka. Jacob Harper. Ashley Ann Conismo. We now recognize those receiving master's degrees in the Seattle Pacific Seminary. Katie Statz. Catherine Nicholson. Judith Nagely. Sarah Marie Keogh. Chipo Sengeza Donatato Johnson. Jeremiah Hinton. Sarah Henthorn. Carrie Bland. Kendrick MacArthur Barnes. We now recognize those receiving master's degrees in the College of Arts and Sciences. Wayna Sun. Natalie Munkemeyer. Carl Fredericks. Lauren Fleming. Jenica Donahue. Yasmin Ben Halim. This concludes the recognition of master's degrees.
Will all the graduates please stand and let us recognize you one more time? Graduates, you may be seated. Graduates, in the audience are many people who have journeyed with you and offered their support and their encouragement as you pursued your degree. I invite the graduates to again rise, turn to the stands, locate those who are here to support you, and join me in saying thank you to them. Graduates, I'd like to direct your attention forward and thank with me one last group of people. The heart and soul of the university, world-class scholars, gifted teachers, mentors, friends, and models of Christian love and wisdom. Graduates, would you please express your gratitude and appreciation for all our faculty has done to prepare you for your life's journey.
Please rise for the benediction. Following the benediction, we ask the audience and the graduates to remain in your places for the recessional until the platform party and faculty have exited. Let us pray. As you leave here today, may your words speak truth in the face of injustices. May your work be a balm in a wounded world. May your bodies reverberate with God's presence, singing a new song that God is with us. Go in peace. Amen.